Hello again, everyone. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, I call it the Ides of December. Now, I know that everybody talks about the Ides of March, but I'm loosely using the term Ides of December just to talk about the middle of the month. And we're going to talk about what are we expecting for the middle of the month, which is really the second half of this last week and all of this coming week. All right, so we're going to take a look at the S&P 500 today, look at the VIX, update on Moderna, and then look at a comparison of a couple of stocks and how they traded at the end of the week last week. All right, so the S&P 500 was down 4.64 on Friday. A little bit of weakness in here. Actually, look at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Pretty interesting how we're coming down the tail end of the week here. And for the entire week, the S&P 500 was down 35.66. And look at a tight little doji candle in here. A very tight trading range, okay, as compared to the trading range of the previous 5 to 10 weeks. Okay, so now, before I get into the Elliott Wave picture, which I will in a second, what I'm talking about is this segment in here, and I'm referring to some data that I got from StockTradersAlmanac.com, okay? So check these guys out. This is good stuff. StockTradersAlmanac.com. So what are they looking at? They're looking at data for the last 21 years, 1999 through last year, looking at the month of December. How have the various indices traded as a seasonal type thing through the month of December? And you could see the solid lines are the historic. The dotted lines are what's happened so far in 2020 in terms of the data. And I think the data is through last Wednesday, okay? And we're talking about trading days, okay? We're talking about trading days. So when you look at this little lull that appears back down in here, and this would be like Monday, this coming week, Monday, Tuesday, into the end of the week, we're really talking about a low next week. I found that really, really interesting because it kind of syncs with what I'm looking for on several of the indices. And let's talk about where we're at with the Elliott Wave picture. So right now, my preferred count is that we are in the fifth minor wave of the fifth intermediate wave here, finishing off the S&P 500's move. And within that fifth minor wave, that we're trying to find 5 impulsive waves in here, because this first wave looked impulsive to me. But within this third wave here, we need to find 5 little waves also. But we're getting very close to getting overlap between 4 and 1. And if it's an impulse structure, you can't have the overlap. So if we get a continued weakness coming down in here next week, then really that's what I'm expecting, especially on the Dow Industrials based. It's a little bit different picture, but the Dow is really indicating to me some weakness coming up. If this comes down and starts to overlap this high in here, then this picture really goes out the window. And I move to the alternate picture, and the alternate picture says that this fifth wave is really an ending diagonal and is a series of zigzags. Because then we'd get this coming down and doing a zigzag type formation, and in an ending diagonal pattern, the fourth wave needs to overlap the first wave. Okay, so that is a requirement for this. The third wave could still never be the shortest wave. And the good news is it's already longer than wave 1. So that means we don't really have to worry about wave 5 too much. Okay, so anyway, this would be the alternate picture if we continue to come down and provide the weakness that I'm looking for. So it's going to be real interesting to see if in this window, in the Ides of December, do we get the weakness here? And then do we get the Santa Claus rally? Okay. All right, let's take a look at the VIX. And what is the VIX showing us? All of a sudden, the VIX is finally perking up. It's come down here, and look how at this 20 level. I color it red on the 20 level because the 20 level seems to be a level that everybody looks at and says, well, you know, if it's above 20, then it's elevated. If it's below 20, it's not. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, just one of those things that everybody talks about. So it has stayed above this all year long. Well, then after the election and all of this, then the bubble started kind of popping and coming down. But now all of a sudden it got support here over the last week. and we're getting closes, consecutive closes above that 10-day moving average for the first time since the thrusts up here in October and at the end of August into September. So we could be getting the Ides of December weakness in here that we're talking about with the spike up here in the VIX. It's going to be real interesting to see if we continue to get the follow through. Okay, so that's the VIX. Now an update on Moderna. Okay, Moderna. The last time I talked about Moderna was November 14th. On Saturday, November 14th, I put out a video on Moderna, and that is right here. Okay, this was Friday the 13th. And so the projection was, I said, I really felt like we had a fifth wave coming in here to finish off the third intermediate wave. We had Fibonacci targets up in here. And actually, we had another target also based on the triangle that had formed for the wave 4. And I'm talking about this big sideways move for wave 4. We had a target of 149. Well, 149 was right in the middle of these Fibonacci targets. So we came right up in this zone. Beautiful move by Moderna. Now, the real question is this fifth wave really done yet? It's unclear. You know, this could be that we got a 1, 2, 3 doing some kind of fourth wave. We might get continued push even higher a little bit, but it's already a pretty extended wave 3. The next major move I'd be looking for is some kind of sideways pullback in here for a fourth intermediate wave. But we got, we'll see how this unfolds. Right now, we got the most of this big thrust that we were looking for in Moderna. The last thing I want to show is just a side-by-side comparison just to talk about. We talk about the indices, where we think the market's going, et cetera, what do we think's happening. But also, it's very much a stock pickers type of thing. I mean, you really have to look at the individual stocks. And just for an example, let's look at what happened between Disney and Qualcomm last week. Well, okay, here's Wednesday. A peak on Wednesday, a peak on Wednesday. You pull down on Thursday, Qualcomm gets hammered, huge volume, as Apple talks about an announcement in terms of what they're going to start producing. And Disney explodes to new all-time highs because of their investor day and all the announcements they made of new releases that are going to be coming out over the next couple of years and where the membership's at. So it really is very much you have to look at the individual stocks and just see what is going on with them. Disney's been trending very nicely in here, and it just exploded with the trend. This has also been trending a little bit more wavy in terms of the wave structure. We got a lot of divergence showing up in here on the indicators, and then all of a sudden it gets whacked. All right, that's it for this weekend. Let me go back to the home screen, and let me go back up to the S&P 500, and we'll just end there. And not that count. That is not the accurate count. It's this one is what we just talked about. Okay, so this is the picture. Here's where we're at. We'll see what kind of, do we get the weakness that we're looking for next week. All right, if you felt like the video was helpful, give it the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit that little subscriber button and hit that little bell so you get a little notification when the videos get published. And if you'd like more of this kind of information on a regular basis, head on over to joehenches.net. Check out the website and the membership. Everyone, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on the next video, which may be either Friday or Sunday next week. My oldest son is getting married next Saturday, so I won't be doing any video on Saturday.